And of course, I'm back to the problem of I cannot simultaneously have my YouTube stream up and actually stream at the same time. This happened last time. Damn it. I have to pull this up on my phone to be able to see chat. Okay, that's all right though. That's all right. All right. Hello everyone. Welcome back to more Xenogears. Last stream was kind of a fiasco, kind of a shit show, and I express my dearest apologies that it was not was not everything went according to plan. We can say died twice to the opiomorph fight, and then audio cut out. Both game at first it was both game caught audio and commentary audio cut out about 2/3 of the way through the stream. And then I was able to get the game audio back on, but I wasn't able to get commentary audio back while they were going over the entirety of Faye and Id's backstory and the reveals with Groff and the Faye talking to the wave existence. You know, like some of the most important parts of the game. I wasn't able to have commentary during that. So I am very sorry. And then by the end, the whole damn stream just cut off. Um, I'll be able to edit that in post. Feeding cats, nice. Um, I'll be able to edit that. Um, the VOD. I'll be able to edit out the. There's a long pause in the middle of Faye's backstory where I'm trying to get the game audio back on. The little ending part where around where the stream stopped. I'll try to edit that and see if I can get that to a more natural stop. Um, because I will show you where we're picking up at. We're picking the freaking train, damn it. Um, this is where we're picking up at. The characters are now inside of the Excalibur, which is Shavat's other secret ship that they made alongside the Yggdrasil 500 years ago. They're meeting inside the Excalibur after Groff and the Zohar went away. Faye has Xenogears. And Merkava is destroying civilization, or Deus has awakened within Merkava and is eradicating civilization. So they're formulating a plan to stop it. I stopped at the beginning. I reloaded the save, played up to the beginning of that moment right here, and this is where we're picking up from. But before we do that, let's talk about some things from last stream because I didn't get a proper chance to. Okay. First of all, Faye and Id, the whole way they portrayed revealing all of Id's past is so good. Like, oh my gosh, it's good. I hope everyone can see and agree with me that Faye is an amazingly written character. Faye is one of the best written protagonists I have ever seen in an RPG. Um, he doesn't like. There's no point in the entirety of Xenogears where Faye isn't undergoing some kind of significant character development. Whether it's at the beginning, him kind of doubting himself and not quite wanting to use Veltal and do violence against others, fearing his own power, or fearing rather the power of Veltal, and then eventually coming to realize that he can use power for his own means, trying to convince Ellie of the same thing, coming to grips with trying to find a place to belong along with Ellie, and their romance kind of growing, themselves growing independently of each other, but their romance growing together, and them both growing as characters as they start to find each other again. Beautifully written. That we see glimpses of Faye's of memories from Id's life all throughout the game. You know, we hear little bits and pieces of things from Wiseman about his relation to Faye's father and to Groff, all culminating in this scene with the Zohar that we saw last time, and Faye, the rest of the party calling out, trying to awaken back Faye, who had gone basically asleep within Id's mind, um, and then Faye having the conversation with Id and the coward, trying to reconcile everything. Ah, it's so good. And the way the way they use the movie motif, it's the running film motif, when they're showing Id's memories and the coward's memories. It's so good. It's wonderful, wonderfully presented. That whole sequence is my second favorite part of the game, just behind the Solaris section. It's so good. Um, I love how id is the representation of id and the coward are representing two very different, like, opposite extremes in Phase the Mediator. It's literally Freudian psychology where id is the id, the coward is the superego, Faye is the ego, and them literally, like, quite literally having that, like, Freudian psychoanalytic um, you know, struggle against each other, but they're actually characters, like, within Faye's mind. It's brilliant. Id not wanting to accept that there is good in the world, that there were good memories, and but the coward also unwilling to accept the relentless suffering and hatred that their bodies, that Id's past is filled with. Um, and ultimately the reality is a mix of both. Um, Id grew a massive hatred for Faye's mother, who we know is just another version of Miang. Um, and the coward was unwilling to accept a negative view of his mother. And in reality, it was a mix of both. It was the mother was horrible, and exploiting Faye Id for experimentation to try to release the power of the contact. Um, but at the same time, she came back to Faye at the very end, when Id's power was released and accidentally killed her. So all of that's beautiful. All of that is really beautiful. Um, Faye, you know, fully individuating, coming to terms, fully unifying his personalities, coming to terms with its entire past, and at the same time meeting the wave existence and learning about and gaining the memories of all of his other lives, the lives of Lacan, and as we'll see later on today, Kim and Abel, his three past selves. Brilliant. Also, a demonstration of Gnosticism again, because Gnosticism, if you remember, it's a religion, early like 200s AD religious tradition that emphasized the idea of finding gnosis within yourself. That God is this thing, that God is this far off thing from the divine that's separated from a cruel and evil world, and that a person achieves gnosis through knowledge. They discover their memories, and that's how they ascend to God. This is literally Faye. Like, the fact that Faye unified his personalities, found all of his memories, learned all of that literally knowledge, his gnosis, and then that was the moment where he ascended and talked to the wave existence, and he got Xenogears. Like, that's very Gnostic. That entire idea. So regarding the wave existence, that's a whole other thing. So to summarize, to kind of recap that, the wave existence is the real God of this world. And if you were to compare the Xenogears world to Gnosticism, Deus is the demiurge from which all of the humans came from. We saw that biological assembler, Catamony. Faye took Citan and Bart to that computer Catamony from which the mother, the original Ellie and Miang, had created the first humans, Cain and the Gazel Ministry. They all came from Catamony, and Catamony was originally a part of Deus. So, like, Deus is the demiurge that made all of the material world, all the humans, but then there's actually a true God beyond our physical plane that's called the wave existence. And the wave existence told Faye that the realm of the wave existence and the physical realm are not unified. They're connected, very very narrowly connected by what he called the path of Sephiroth. I may have mentioned something about that before. That's a Kabbalistic idea from Kabbalah, which is a Jewish mystic tradition. It's also the name. It's also the origin of the name Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII, because a lot of Final Fantasy VII is also based on Kabbalah. Um, in Kabbalah, the path of Sephiroth was the name for like the 12 forms of God, and a person who follows Kabbalah is following the path of Sephiroth. They're kind of states of mind that can kind of unify one with God or ascend to a realm of God. So anyway, that's where that comes from. That area, that little watery area where Faye was talking to the wave existence, was the path of Sephiroth. That was literally the path of Sephiroth, the place of connection between the wave existence realm and the physical realm. So, and to summarize what the wave existence said, the original life of Faye was a boy named Abel, who was on the Eldridge, on the passenger ship, when Deus took over the passenger ship and the Eldridge had to self-destruct and all crash landed. Abel, on that ship, had a longing for a mother, and came across the Zohar. At some point long ago, there was an experiment before even Deus was created. This other civilization, this other alien civilization from which the Eldridge and everyone came from, had discovered the Zohar, and in doing so, had trapped the wave existence within the Zohar. So the wave existence from this like far off godly realm had become trapped within the Zohar in the physical realm. And that's where the Zohar gets all of its power, because it has the wave existence in it, right? When Abel on the ship came into contact, that's where he gets named the Contact, which is the name for just all the forms of Fae. When Abel came into contact with, at some point on the ship, the Zohar, he came into contact with the wave existence. The wave existence sensed his longing for a mother and used Catamony, the biological assembler, to construct a mother figure for him. And that was the original Elheim. So that was how the original Ellie and the original Elheim came to be. Abel was the only human survivor of the ship crash because of the power of the wave existence, because the wave existence put a little bit of this power within him. Ellie, upon the ship crashing, Ellie broke out of the Catamony, and the Deus system, wanting to resurrect itself, used Ellie to turn back on Catamony and create the first humans in order to start the resurrection process. Creating all the humans, letting them evolve over time, so that eventually they're able to find and unite all the anima relics back together, find and unite the Zohar. Deus comes back together and he can return to the stars. That was the whole plan. Deus is nothing more than an AI that's trying to revive itself because it sensed a problem. So just as computers do, they sense a problem, they try to auto-fix it. The difference with Deus is it has the power of God literally within it, because Deus's power source is the Zohar, and the Zohar has the wave existence trapped within it. That's really the source of that's really the source of all the problems, is that the wave existence is trapped within the Zohar. So it's able to have access to all this godly, unworldly power. By putting a little bit of its power into Faye, or into Abel whenever Abel encountered the wave existence on the ship, by putting a little bit of its power into Abel and allowing it the ability to resurrect it, to go through multiple incarnations, to be resurrected, what the wave existence was trying to do was it was trying to empower someone so that one day, one of the future incarnations of Abel would be able to free the wave existence from the Zohar and allow it to ascend back to its realm. That was the idea. It seems like now that obligation is on Faye. And Faye, after meeting with the wave existence, has been imbued with the Xenogears, the most powerful gear by far in this world, because it's literally the power of the wave existence, literally the power of God beyond God, and is charged with doing that. and of course with saving Ellie in the process, and saving all of civilization because Deus is destroying civilization. So we get a timeline. Abel encounters the wave existence on the ship. Wave existence gives it some of its power and creates Ellie, the first Ellie, first Elheim. Ship crashes. Abel survives. Ellie breaks out. Deus uses Ellie's body to awaken another persona. That's where that term comes from. Another persona within Ellie called Miang. And so originally, it was Ellie's body with Miang's consciousness. That was the mother. That was the one that that actually used the Catamoni to then create Cain and the Gazel Ministry, the first humans, right? And then, after doing all of that, the mother split herself into two beings that would both reincarnate many times over the ages. There was Ellie, and there was Miang, the subject and the complement, as they called it. The antitype refers to the Ellie that keeps reincarnating. It's just another term for Ellie, right? Whereas Faye is the contact, Ellie is the antitype. That's just like the broad terms to them, and Miang is the complement. That's like what they were called. And all three of them are reincarnating all this time. Miang does it a little quicker because she can just go from one mind to another. As soon as she dies, she pops up in someone else's mind. Faye and Ellie seem to have a couple generations between their incarnations, but either way. Miang basically is the persona of Deus. She is the will of Deus trying to guide humanity into eventually resurrecting Deus again. That's her one objective. She's kind of just an AI, because Deus is an AI. She's kind of just an AI programmed with one objective: resurrect Deus. And so she did that. She kept going into different women's bodies, manipulating the politics of the world in order to go toward that objective. Whereas Ellie, as the antitype, as the one who was born out of the wave existence sensing Abel's longing for a mother, became a kind of motherly figure for humanity. And in each successive reincarnation, we see that Ellie takes on this motherly role, as for example, as Sophia to the people of Nisan 500 years ago. And now she's taking care of all the people who were mutated, right, into wells in Nisan. So, and Faye, on the other hand, is each incarnation finding Ellie, becoming romantically involved, and in each one of them, Ellie tragically dies in some way. We'll learn more. We've learned a lot about Lacan and Sophia, the incarnations of them from 500 years ago. We don't know a whole lot about their incarnations. We know that they did have some incarnation. Faye was the scientist Kim. That was the contact of that era, and of course, the antitype is always called Ellie. We don't exactly know much about their incarnations from the Zeboim era. We've seen little clips of them where Faye was like a scientist, and they were the ones. It was Kim and Ellie that created Emeralda. They were both scientists. We'll learn more about that today. We're going to be learning quite a bit about the Zeboim civilization today, and finally getting more Emeralda backstory. But anyway, that's everything. It is a convoluted story, but it's honestly really, really beautiful, because at the end of the day, it all comes back to the theme that recurs over and over throughout this game: becoming whole. Deus wants to reunite all of its parts. It wants to reunite its anima and its animus, and the Zohar, and the Catamoni, and all of its parts, and the Mother, all of its parts, in order to become whole again, so it can return to the cosmos. Faye unified all of his personalities, Id and the Coward and everyone else, all of his memories from his past lives, in order to become whole again. The Wave Existence wants to become one with his divine realm, but he's separate from it right now because he's been trapped within the Zohar, and he longs to get back there. It longs to return to where it came from, so it wants to become whole. This idea keeps recurring over and over again in this game, and it's again the major theme of the game. It's the major doctrine of the Nisan sect. It's what's represented by the two angels. It recurs over and over and over again. That's really what this game is all about. This game, Xenogears, is a game. It's a convoluted sci-fi game but it's also a game about broken people trying to become whole again. Broken societies that have been broken apart by the innate. The message of Xenogears: humans are innately broken and imperfect, and we long to find a sense of wholeness. And in that longing, we divide ourselves, we create horrible conditions for ourselves, and that's it. But at the end of the day, we also can only become whole by working with other people. That's the message of Xenogears. And so, amongst all the convoluted mess, there is a deeply human, fundamental core to the story of Xenogears. And that's why it's so beautiful. That's why it's such a wonderful story that's worth seeing. And if you ever have any questions about any of the nitty gritty of the details of the story, you can always feel free to ask me. I would consider myself at this point pretty well versed in the Xenogears story. Let's check chat here. Out of context, it really looks like Scientist Faye shut out Ellie as a sacrifice to the assailants. We will learn about that today. That's not that. I'm going to go ahead and say you're wrong. It's not necessarily the case, but we'll learn about that today. The Scientist Faye is Kim. That's Emeralda's line. Faye is Kim. We'll learn about Kim today. Kim and that version's Ellie. Anyway, at this point in the story, oh yeah, Groff sacrificed himself and went away along with the Zohar. So that all happened. That was a great boss fight, by the way. The whole setup around that, the reveal that Groff had been hiding within Faye's father Wiseman ever since 3 years ago when Groff and Wiseman had that encounter. That after Groff was defeated, Groff's mind, because his mind kind of jumps bodies. His mind went into Wiseman's body. It's also Khan's body. It's the same person. Went into Khan's body and kind of laid dormant and was like awakening those other times, which is why we've never seen Wiseman and Groff in the same situation, because they both occupy the same body. So all that's really cool too. One more thing. I know I've been going on quite a bit here. One more thing before we begin on the subject of Groff. There's another kind of timeline that I want to go ahead and get resolved here regarding Groff, and this particularly regarding Veltal. We know that Groff's gear is called, or the true form of it rather, is called the True Veltal or Alpha Veltal. We've seen it different names depending on when we fought it. We know that Groff is Lacan, and that Lacan became Groff by having an incomplete. He went to the land of Bethlehem where the Zohar was. That's the name for that area, by the way, that we've been in, where the Zohar was. I don't know if it's named within the story, but its name in Xenogears is the land of Bethlehem, of course, based on the Bible. Lacan went to the land of Bethlehem, found the Zohar, had an incomplete contact with God, which kind of broke him, because he had a longing for power. He had just a desire for nothing but power after Sophia's sacrifice. Had incomplete contact with the way of existence, gained some power, but not, kind of an incomplete version of it, and was able to find the Diabolos, awaken the Diabolos, and wreaked havoc on the planet. Alpha Veltal is, in fact, one of the Diabolos. And by the way, I don't think it ever talks much about, the game itself ever talks about where the Diabolos came from. The Diabolos were really just a weapon system that Deus had from the ship. So it was kind of there alongside Zohar in the land of Bethlehem. Groff found it there, awakened it, and used it to wreak havoc. Among the Diabolos was Alpha Veltal. So the original true Alpha Veltal, was a Diabolos. The Veltal that Faye is used was another Veltal, another kind of replica that Groff created much later on. We know that Veltal was discovered and stolen from a Kislev facility by Ellie's squadron way at the beginning of the game, and that's how the Lahan invasion happened, right? Because Ellie's squadron took Veltal. A Kislev squadron was kind of flying after them, and then they had to do a crash landing. And Graf was actually the one we discovered was actually the one spearheading the Kislev squadron that was chasing after Veltal. Right, he had kind of set the whole thing up so that Faye would get in Veltal. Graf putting Veltal, his own replica Veltal into Kislev and setting the whole thing up was all by design. He knew that the contact had awakened again. He knew that Faye was back, and he wanted Faye's true power to be released again. So he set that whole thing up, planted his replica Veltal into the Kislev facility, set the whole Alahan invasion up so that he could set up, Faye releasing his power as id once again. So that's where that's the difference. The Veltal that Faye has used is a replica of the true Veltal that Graf used and that he discovered from the Diabolos. Okay, that's that. With all of that said, let's keep going. Let's see what happens next. At this point, Deus has awakened within Merkava and is attempting to destroy all of civilization. And Ellie with Niang's consciousness, which is the true form of the mother, has now become one with Deus, and Faye has to go save her. And in the process, has to fulfill his duty to the wave existence to, in the process of defeating Deus, free the wave existence from the Zohar and allow the wave existence to return to its realm. Anyway, so we destroy that Zohar thing, everything will be over, right? Yes. The source of our ether powers and the source of power for the generators that make our gears work. It all comes from the Zohar modifier engine, which can control any potential phenomena. So Sidon is about to go into a lot of real technical stuff about how exactly the Zohar works. Don't worry about it much for now. It's based on quantum mechanics. It's based on the uncertainty principle. He destroyed Deus and the Seraph Angels, which, remember, the Seraph Angels were Deus's army that he had created out of the flesh of the humans that he had absorbed within him, will all be deactivated. Then we should also be able to free Ellie, who has become bound to the Deus weapon as Niang. Right, Faye? That sums it up. So the wave existence said. But then there is the downside. It will also mean that we will no longer be able to use our gears or our ether powers anymore. What are those Seraph Angels all about anyway? All appearance as if they lack something, as if they were neither living beings nor mere weapons. Zohar senses the human consciousnesses and incarnates the Seraphs. Human consciousness? Zohar itself involves the principle of uncertainty. The observer's perception of Zohar determines the entity it actually becomes. In other words, I believe that those angels are incarnations of the spirits of people, the people who have been absorbed by Deus to become parts of it. So what merit is there for them to gain in eliminating all of civilization? Is it some kind of hatred for those humans who have survived? Of course not. Those people who were created and assimilated as parts for Deus would have no such intentions. Try to remember what Ellie, when she became Niang, said. The creations of God will someday be a hindrance. That is why they must be eliminated. Yes, that is why Merkava is being used to begin the destruction. That answers our question. I must ask real quick, why the frick is Choo-Choo at controls? I don't know. Why is Choo-Choo still here? That's the better question. I don't know. It does look pretty stupid. But Deus is not following its programming of exterminating all of civilization. The Seraphs, which are terminal interface weapons of Deus, are using their bodies composed of nanomachines to absorb massive numbers of people regardless of whether they are dead or alive. It is not discriminating between the mutant and non-mutant people. This is highly peculiar. The fact that the people who are meant to be destroyed are being taken in as well. That is the absolute opposite of what it's supposed to be doing. Maybe there aren't enough parts? That is unlikely. Aside from those bodies that were destined to be parts for it, Deus, who has already acquired the abilities of the nanomachines, can just about use any material to construct its body. It is obvious it has other intentions in mind. Those intentions, Krelian has called Deus the Mother. If God is the Mother, then those motives are coming from the Great Mother, impeding the growth of its children, enveloping it, to bring the child back into the womb to become one with it. This is all poetic. It's all a reference to the It's an archetype from old philosophy called the Devouring Mother. That's what all of this is a reference to. That is its motive. Such a program does not exist within its design, though. It was probably given this unique will by someone, either from Ellie who has merged with the Deus, or either way, it doesn't change the fact that we have to fight. So basically, to sum that up, we know that there are people who mutated into Wells who mutated into Wells in order to become parts for Deus to try to reconstruct it. But it seems like Deus is also trying to absorb even more people than it needs. Like, it's already reconstructed, but it keeps absorbing people with it. So we don't know exactly why that's happening. That's what about sums it up. Choo-Choo is the true villain. Regardless of what their intentions are, the problem is how we're supposed to deal with them. You think we can do it in our current state? The secret battleship, Excalibur, will also take part in the final battle. Additionally, the military potential of all the surface forces will assemble here. Even if we can put together a massive force, we still have the problem with the main armament of the Merkava. We need to know how to take that out, as long as we don't do that. Merkava's ultra-long-range cannon has the ability to vaporize any substance. On top of that, they have a barrier around their perimeter that nullifies all attacks. We fought against the Merkava many times to try to stop its onslaught. However, we cannot even get close, hence we have had to withdraw every time. Damn it! No matter how much we want to save Ellie, if we can't get inside the Merkava, it's meaningless! To add to that, there is the problem of those Seraphs. They function as the terminal interface weapons for close defense. I can easily say that their attack power is equivalent to the Omnigear class. You even have the regenerative ability due to the nanomachines. Don't be concerned with that! I was able to obtain some data from Xenogears. You see, Xenogears is mutagenically evolved due to its contact with Zohar. Using that data, all of your new gears ought to be completed soon. Additionally, all the other weapons and armaments are being modified to implement the disassembler device. Disassembler device? In contrast to the nano-assemblers, which create matter to repair with, the disassemblers have the ability to dismantle or destroy matter. They can even deactivate the nanomachine's restoring ability by disengaging their repair programs. This should be sufficiently effective even against the Deus Seraphs. Alright, even if we can deal with the angels, just how are we going to deal with that Merkava? We can't even get close to the thing. There is no such thing as a perfect defense. There is a way. Look over here. Of course, Satan just knows. Merkava's main gun requires a 1.2 second interval to reload because of its tremendous output. Upon firing, although it is only sectional, there will be a portion of the barrier that will be open. There is a 1.87 second delay before the barrier reforms in that area. If we can use this window of opportunity to target and destroy that cannon, it will be possible to close in on it. If we can get close enough, we can break through with gravitational spatial correction. Well, this is the rough idea. Unfortunately, we only have such a long-range cannon. That could require a target in such a brief time frame. So what you're saying is, we just need to shut that annoying cannon up, right? You want to go head-on into Merkava? Now you're being reckless again. That's suicide. No, listen. We're not going to just rush in. The Idrisil 4 and the Excalibur are also equipped with barriers. That's what we'll use. Although only for a short time, we can withstand a direct hit from Merkava's main cannon. Then we can close in and watch for that part of the barrier to go down and then destroy the cannon. How long will our barrier last? About 20 or so seconds. That's all? It wouldn't matter how fast we fly. In that amount of time, we'll be without a barrier before we can get within firing range. And those numbers are valid only if the generator is at full drive, right? We can only get those numbers if we sacrifice all other output and propulsion. I'm not suggesting we go in with guns blazing, knowing we're going to lose. We're going to physically put a lid on it, directly. Huh? As you said, the Idrisil 4 or Excalibur's barrier can't sufficiently defend against Merkava's attack. At least with one generator, that is. Meaning? Meaning we can defend against the Merkava with twice the amount of time, 40 seconds if we couple the two generators together. This way we can make it into the heart of Merkava. And what about the propulsion? Just hear me out. This is what we do. First, we transform my Yggdrasil into heavy assault mode and load it onto the Excalibur so we can couple the generators. By doing that, we can reduce the energy usage down to just supporting the hull of the ship and generating the barrier. This will allow most of the energy to be devoted to generating the barrier. Next, shift the barrier to full front and focus it to the single point where their main cannon will make its strike. Now for movement. First off, we develop a barrier by engaging Excalibur's generator to maximum power. For propulsion during that time, we'll install on the Yggdrasil those large solid rockets we got from the ruins of the mass driver. When Excalibur's barrier expires, we'll use the Yggdrasil 4's generator to develop a barrier. Then we'll also detach the solid rockets and shift the Excalibur into conventional flight. Using this method, we can get right in Merkava's face. After it fires, it'll be defenseless. During this time, we'll block the muzzle of Merkava's cannon with Excalibur's bow ram, upon which we should have 0.67 seconds. With the cannon fire of the Excalibur, we'll destroy the Yggdrasil 4's slave generator and incapacitate the Merkava along the way, and then we break through! That's what the plan is all about. The combination of the barriers of both ships, storming the Merkava, the timing of the cannon fire of the Excalibur, these are all going to be crucial. Mess up any one of these and the consequences are going to be severe. Hence, it'll be necessary to have both crews in sync with each other. That's why I'd like to place Sig in command of the Excalibur. I have no qualms with that. What do you think, Queen? Will you lend us your battleship? Since there appears to be no other alternative, let's go with that. Please use it as you see fit. Are we not cutting it uncomfortably close? When you calculate the arrival time and the barrier generation time, you will see what I mean. One minor mishap will put us in a situation where we could run out of barrier power before our arrival. Also, we will be devoting both generators to keeping the barriers up. Won't that leave us without perimeter defenses? We won't stand a chance if we get engaged by the Seraph Angels on our way to Merkava. We'll hold them off. You can count on us. You guys just concentrate on taking out that main cannon. Fix, we're depending on you. Already, everywhere else has been taken out. This is the only place that's left. This is going to be the true final battle. Let's do it. According to Melchior, everyone has new fitted gears as well. We sailed to silence God's Ark, Merkava, which was the epitome of offensive and defensive power, and then storm inside it. We initiated the operation to destroy Zohar. That can't be! A secondary explosion! Oh no, I should have known better. What a miscalculation! The explosion was too big. It reacted with the main condenser right under the main cannon, and induced a secondary explosion. How could I have been so stupid? You mean we overdid it? Why did I not realize it sooner? This means we might have... Oh no, Ellie! Oh my gosh, Ellie! What is it this time? Hey, Sidon, what more is going to happen? Something is happening in the center of Merkaba. What could it be? At that time, the earth quaked and shook, and from the location where the Merkaba crashed, a giant object appeared. It was Deus's final form. Merkaba was merely its vessel. Deus evolved through the use of Krelian's nanomachines into a planetary-scale weapon and began terraforming. It was attempting to convert this entire planet into a weapon. We retreated back to the base at the snow plains to form a new strategy. We decided to go back into Deus. Time was running out for us. So things have become more dire now. Stakes have risen. And at last, we get a chance to walk around. I don't think we've gotten this chance since, like, we first entered Merkaba, like, when we were before the Ramses fight. So, yeah. Welcome back, y'all. So, at this point, we have reached the endgame of Xenogears. The next stop in the story is going back into Merkaba and facing Deus head-on. Within Merkaba this time, facing its core. So, a lot of stuff has opened up in the world, because this is literally the first time we're able to go out onto the world map in the entirety of Disc 2. And the world is very different. Especially as the whole world is in the process of getting destroyed and terraformed by Deus. There have been places around the world which have already been destroyed. And, well, we have a snow bunker here. And not just any snow bunker, this place is the ruins of Shavat. You'll see that more as we begin to talk to people. Ave, Kislev, Nissan, we've been feuding for such a long time, but finally we are coming together as one like this. It's probably already too late. It's always the case. By the time we notice anything, it's way too late. How could we possibly stand up to God's army? The situation's really hopeless. Though this base is the last refuge for humans, as you can no doubt see, we have almost no supplies. Anyway, we're using a fallen piece of Shavat as the main base. You probably could have guessed that, huh? If we can take out Deus even one day sooner, we can't hold that out much longer than this. Hey, welcome. What can I do for you today, eh? I hate to ask to buy anything, because I know everyone here needs it, but I do what I gotta do, I guess. So, I'll be honest, I'm not gonna have Bart in my party for too much longer. I'm not gonna buy anything. I'm not gonna buy a new weapon for Bart. At least not on the ground. Godson ammo, this is interesting. I think I already have this, though. Nothing too crazy here. I do want to sell a bunch of stuff, though, because we're going to have to spend an arm and a leg on some things. Oh, bullion, of course. Oh, these are... Ooh, okay. I can actually use these then. Hey, thanks. Come again. Does that lead outside? I guess it does. Chuchu had absolutely nothing to add to that plan. Yep. It's our first time coming back to the world map. Snowfield Hideout. It's also our first time getting to use the Yggdrasil 4. The original Yggdrasil that Roni built. Or Roni built one of the others too. Actually, I think he built all of them, but whatever. Us people of Shavat have always dreamed of coming down to live on the planet's surface, but we didn't ever imagine this would be how we would realize that dream. This is unbearable. Yeah, we got all kinds of good stuff here. Hey, need anything? Let's see, what kind of good stuff do you have? Zeta Souls! I'd like some of these. In fact, there's something very specific I'm trying to save my money for. So I want to go crazy with money. I already talked to you. Talk to this guy. I'm awfully cold. I hate the cold. It's killing me. The temperature keeps dropping like this. We'll all be frozen before days can finish us off. It's over the counter here. It's not like we're born just to die. It's going to happen to us now. This world. Can't carry on without at least drinking. It's scary and lonely. What's beyond here? Oh! You see some familiar faces. Everyone's gonna die! Booze! Bring booze! Everyone copes in different ways. This is the guy from the elevator of the Thames. So down this hallway, I see some people from the Thames. Hey you, it's freezing in here. Can't you do something? This is not good for my complexion. Oh, shut up. Is that Queenie? I think it's Queenie. Plenty of good men are dead now. What kind of doctor am I if I can't save people dying right in front of me? Why should an old man like me survive that? Ouch. Town without prisoners. How boring. But then again, the world itself is like a prison. Will you? Don't remember. Maybe you're from D Block? That's my best guess. And down here, we have the whole dolphin family. Lance, you're not my dad! Hans, is that you? You're alive? Yeah, you too. But if you're here, that means the Thames sank. The angels attacked. The Thames withstood the onslaught of Reapers, but was defenseless against those angels. Hardly anything got out in time. They went down with the Thames. Well, wait a minute. What about the captain? He's okay, right? Yeah, Bart's really concerned about the captain. Yeah, that's the real question. Bart's asking real questions. Always an alcoholic, yep. Captain said he'd watched the end of the Thames with his own eyes. You're kidding, right? That old guy died. No way. No, the captain is alive. He is the kind that never kills over. Damn. So, what's happened with you lately? I didn't know you had a son. The kid who just left seemed pretty angry about something. I'm embarrassed you just saw that. I got married just before the Thames went down. Her name is Anna. She's my wife. She was saved by the Thames when the ships were attacked by Reapers. Unfortunately, that's when she lost her husband. Don't misunderstand me. It wasn't out of feeling sorry for her or anything like that. Or, well, perhaps it was. I just wanted to protect her, that's all. If you call that feeling sorry, then I suppose I don't mind. The captain teased me mercilessly. He said, What, a cold guy like you seducing a widow? Just make sure the kid doesn't hate you. I guess the captain was right. My stepson doesn't like me yet, but I'm hoping someday. I see. Boy, you've changed. You've changed too, Faye. I don't know how to explain it, but as for me, well, I don't know what it is. I guess I've always had someone protecting me. Hans. Faye, I believe that one day the captain will come down that stairway, tapping with his cane, and you'll say, Hans! It looks like we'll get our hands on a priceless treasure. What kind of face is that? You don't believe me, huh? This time it's true, honest. Maybe someday. Hans! It looks like we'll get our hands on a priceless treasure! Huh? What kind of face is that? Captain! What's this shouting about, Captain? Get out, you fool! Do you know how much I was worried about you? Ah, I've been telling you all along. Don't you get it? Now listen. Men of the sea, never say die. Yeah, ha 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 ha. You are such a... Hans, this time it's true. It's an island with buried treasure. It's called Doonman Island. An ancient hero defeated a monster there, and now legend has it his fabled sword rests there. What info do you have? Do you know where the place is? What about a ship? Don't know where it is, don't have a ship, don't worry with details. Don't you know that attitude of yours is why that kid won't take to you? That's none of your business. Oh, by the time that kid actually decides to like you, I'll have managed to get a new ship. Till then, give it all for your family, lad. Give your family the love they need while you still have the chance. Gahar. Nice to see him again. Nice to see that little story's wrapped up. It hasn't been that long since my husband died. Please don't think I'm a loose woman, but it's because of this man that I... Jeez, when it comes to him... Everyone's down and they're the only ones who are looking happy. Annoying, isn't it? It's great. People of the Thames never change. Some flashy woman in Thames taught me a card game. Do you want to play? So, if you want to still play the card game, you can play here. As defiantly a walrus. Yep. Cheetos Puffs works. Not a whole lot more cutscenes today, I will say. There's going to be some, but there's going to be like side quest stuff. So, yeah, we can still play the card game, and I believe this kid is just as either a little harder or just as hard as Queenie. So it's max difficulty this one. Where did this go? Alright, I gotta use my method though. Oh shit. I already messed up. Any cards? Oh shit. Look at this. Oh, 3. I could have put 3 there. 3. 8, 7, 8, 9. Haha, 7, 8, 9. Oh, king. Can't do anything. Okay. Alright, what? 2. Okay, 2 and 3. Nothing I can do there. Or 4, 5. I could have gone to the 5. Damn it. Okay, I got that in time. Ace. I don't have anything. Okay. Okay. 1, 2 again. Okay. 10, jack. Oh, fuck! 10, 8, 8. Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna win at this.
Nice move. That last one.
You're no good. Come back later. Screw you. Okay. Captain! What? How'd I survive? Don't worry about those minor details. If you worry about such things, then kids will hate you. Just like they hate Hans, eh? I wish you were my dad. Can I call you Dad? Yarr! That's a laugh. A walrus with a penguin for a son. Yarr! I'm not a penguin. I'm a dolphin. Oh? Hans is a penguin. My dad is a dolphin too. Oops, forgot what I just said. I didn't mean to call him Dad. Who would want a father like him? That's the Mr. Krabs laugh or some shit. Let's go off this way. Oh, this is the room. This is the destroyed house from Shavat that we saw with Maria that one time. When they try to leave intact, just as a reminder of the horrors of war. Still here. Alright. We're going to be seeing a lot of resolutions to past storylines today, as we go around and try to talk to people and explore the world now. So that's kind of the first one with the Thames people. Burn, burn, burn up this whole world. My home, my whole family, everything's been destroyed by them. Who cares anymore? Burn it all up! Burning, burning! All of my rare first edition books and valuable autographs. I know supplies are short, but I can't believe they are burning my treasures. So many have died. If this continues, even more will die. It's the same as 500 years ago. Tragedy and hardship is being repeated again. What's going to happen to our world? What's going to happen to us? Like the Diabolos collapse. In both cases, it was a form of God's army coming to wreak havoc on the surface. It's not bad. There's a lot of people, and it's fun to play in the snow. The cat's running around. After losing our home in Kislev, we lost our home in Ave too, so we decided to stay here for a while. Next time, I want to live somewhere that's green. I never thought I'd live here. I wanted to make my parents happy. I had a hard time evacuating because my daughter begged us to take all the cats with us. Oh, that's the cat family from Budovik. Burnt to the ground. This is not Mega Man 7. Kana said skill issue, that's funny. This isn't bad at all compared to military camp in the cat house. Wasn't planning on living here. My son's family is with me. At least they're reunited. So some positives. It's a different system from what humans have been creating. In other words, it should be called a machine made by non-humans. It wasn't made by humans. It can be quiet, sister. Please take the children elsewhere. Want the children to stay in the cold hallway? This is the warmest room. Why can't they stay here? We're having a very important meeting. They're disturbing us. Please don't get so upset. I really appreciate that you're trying to protect us. But you know these people are the only ones who can change our fate, don't you? And to crowd everyone in a small space is kind of the compromises you have to make. Maybe a few things we can do, but I've been a soldier all my life. I can't sit still as long as there are people to protect and enemies to fight. I'm prepared to protect everyone here. Hey, give me my candy back! Good luck to you too. I will protect these people, so don't worry. I believe this is the kid from Fatima Square, or Shakan Square, as it was called when we went there. I think it's now called Bartholomew Square, not Fatima Square. Sorry. This is the kid that wanted the toy robot. My grandma made this for my mom when she was a child. It's really warm. Talking about a little hat there. So, outfit is so cute, isn't it? These are all the same in Kislev, Ave, and Nissan. What is it? Can I do that too? To help people, but all I know how to do is fight. I had doubts about fighting before, but not about protecting the people here. I am Idris 10. Come on, catch me if you can. I want to see my mom and dad. It's the first time I've seen snow. It's so light and white, and a beautiful pattern appears for an instant, then it melts on my palm. It's amazing. Yes, when these are people from Ave, and it's the first time they've seen anything but desert. That makes sense. We have more weapons. It's just going to sit there while we gather all of Abe's and Kislev's armies. Really, how can we fight against an enemy like that? Do what we can. That's a good response to the other one. Now more than ever, I feel as if each child is very important. Next generation of people to fight for us. And play with the sister. Both no longer have anything to lose. Do as you wish. Hope you'll have help from heaven. Go with the Nissan sect. X7 specifically, sorry. Mega Man 7 is actually a pretty good game. That was the one on the SNES. I think Mega Man 7 is a pretty underrated one, honestly. I rented it one time, I thought it was good. Hey buddy, you need something? Hey, hang on a minute. And this is our gear shop for the end game. Here's Xenogears. Yeah. Pretty outrageous design. Bari. This is El and Maswo. This is the Transformer and Maswo. Omnigear. El Styre. Transform Styre. Crescents. Never got an Omnigear, but although there are designs in Perfect Works, and there was originally a plan for Crescents to also get an Omnigear form and for Emeralda to have more character exploration and character development as she was going to get her Anima Relic. Same thing with Zeebzen. Zeebzen was originally going to have an Omnigear design as well, with Maria getting an Anima Relic, but it didn't come to be. Content cuts, of course. Then rear. We're back. So, no reason to try to... Actually, no, we can. The X70. Yep, we're giving that. Can't get any better frame. It's the best armor we have. Level up. And what can we buy? I do want to buy, I'm going to make it a point. Try to buy ammo here. I don't exactly know what the Seraph Angels would lead to, but I guess I'll Earth. And we have some of the best armor in the game we can get. Get a few extra armor plus 7s, definitely get a few ether armors. I'll get 2 of those. I really want to save my money here. Okay. Let's go for the light armor, and that will be better response. I think so. We'll just do 3 of the Okay, yeah, that's fine. Charger restores 50 fuel. This is a better charger. I don't think this is too necessary, because you can get into hyper mode and charge better, but it's something if you want that. This fuel may be a necessity for your party. Whatever setup you have. Plus weapons we can sell. We don't need these rods. We're not going to be able to use Ellie anytime for the rest of the game. Gold sword. Yeah. Lots of ammo. We probably don't need all this ammo. It's hard to see what's like good for him. Gold whip. Okay, if we have 3 of it, I'm keeping it. There's definitely a reason for that. Well, have a refill, I guess, on ammo. I don't know what's actually good. I sell these, I think they're old. Parts. Selling all of our old armor here, I don't need these. Old circuit I don't need, O2 cylinder I don't need. No. No, no. 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 I'm gonna sell one of the death blowers. Actually, I may just sell both. I don't ever use these. I don't know. We may want reserves in case like we have to use someone else. Power magic is good. Silver armor I'm gonna sell. These extra frame HPs I don't need. I think everyone has a frame HP equipped. Gold plate I can sell for a lot. Voice filter I can sell for a lot. Don't need those. Don't need these. I'm gonna sell both the death blower. I'm gonna sell all the death blowers, honestly. These are all pretty good except for the defense circuit. These ether armor. No, the ether armor we definitely need. Sorry. Okay. Now in exchange for that, let me actually buy like one more ether armor. Just so I can have ether armor plus 2s for everyone in the party. Actually, I may already have some. I don't know. Even being replaced with an Omnigear is not a good idea story-wise. Why would that be? Maria needs more character exploration than probably anyone else but Rico. Maria gets a total of 7 lines in the entirety of Disc 2. That's insane to me. I mean, I liked Maria's arc in Shavat, and I stand by. I think Maria is the best of the 4 party members, I guess 5 if you count Choo Choo, whatever, that get like the less character development, but still, she needs more to her arc. We never get a scene of her meeting Isaac Balthasar, her father, or her grandfather, sorry. She definitely needs more to her arc. Okay. So, alright, from there, giving everyone new engines. I may wait on doing that, actually. I definitely am going to be using Crescent, so I want to... Yeah. A better frame, and your armor's fine. Stuff costs a freaking arm and a leg, as always. Titan's always good to have. Let's get him the better engine. There is another gear shop we will be fighting later on today, which is where I'd like to get the expensive stuff from. But I'm kind of thinking I may not actually buy any new engines or frames there. I'll show you what I mean. It's kind of a weird shop. I'll just buy the ones from here. Anvari, sure, we'll use you. Did I get the alloy? Is the alloy on him? Yeah, it's worth having because there's so many ether attacks he'll be encountering. Yeah, and we're already out of money. Shit. Shit, me. What's on here? A warehouse of some kind? A celebrated gear weapon specialist, but lately there's been no interesting work. There are no men with enough guts to ask me to forge them a weapon to fight Daves. If you bring me a nifty sword, I can forge it into something truly amazing for you anytime. I won't work for anyone rude enough to ask me to check a weapon while it's still equipped to their gear. Oh, I should have kept the other sword. I forgot, this is actually how you get Titan's ultimate weapon for his deer. Fuck. I should not have sold that. I should not have sold the Yamame sword. Okay, well I have another one. I'm gonna get him to fix the Kishin sword. Kishin, here we go. Should have a novel sword. This is the Kishin sword, by the way, is the one we got from the G elements. It's interesting. Let me take a peek. This came out great. It was like turning plowshares into a sword. Use the sword and make Deus and his legions pay. Thank God we had another one to equip him. See, the Kijin sword. This is the best gear sword in the game. I'm going to be keeping with this party for at least today, so... Or, no, I need to switch an Emerald, never mind. But either way... Light armor... Ether armor plus 2. I have a light armor plus... Yeah, okay. Ether armor plus 2. And... Light armor... Ether armor plus 2. I didn't have an extra Ether Armor plus 2. Nice. Means I can go sell that. Except I should have known beforehand, or else I would have had more money. I wouldn't have had to buy the other one. But whatever. It's done is done now. I mean the kitchen sword. Otherwise known as a knife. You're going to be beating Deus over the head with a steak knife. I'm gonna sell these. I'm gonna sell this and go short. Good. We need money. Okay, we went in there, We haven't gone in here yet. I love the Shabbat music so much. Oh, Queen, what do you see with those eyes? That look of sorrow as if you lost something. Within that, there lies a kindness which would forgive all. Someone's got a crush. What's going on up here? Snow keeps falling, softly covering up everything in this world. Our sorrow, our defilement, our mistakes. If only we could wipe away these things as easily as that. What have I been doing and pursuing for these past 500 years? By the way, how is the person you rescued from Merkava? I heard he recovered consciousness. Person we rescued, huh? Yes, well, at first he lost faith in himself, but now he's better. Kara has received himself. Has revived himself, and has found some real meaning in his life. If he decides to fight on our side, then our total fighting power shall be greatly increased. Let's see about this, huh? We rescued Ramses from Merkava. Kar, please listen to me! Right now, we must forget about being friend or foe. We all must support one another, regardless. Right now, we need your help. I am just trash. A reject. Stop feeling sorry for yourself and pull yourself together, man! Hugo, what are you? Trash, reject. You can take pity and call yourself that all you want, but what about them? Are these women stupid or trash or rejects too for believing in you? The reasons why you helped the girls, who had no one to turn to, may not have been that noble. But in spite of that, they stuck with you. Do you know why? They know you better than anybody else. They know the true kindness that exists within your heart. They know that because they want to be loved. That is why they want to leave you. Car, do not make them into the trash or rejects that you speak of. Commander, all of you. Needless to say, you are not trash or a reject. You know that better than anyone does. I didn't realize that what I've been looking for was so close to me. I'm sorry for not realizing sooner. Oh, Commander. It's good to see he gets a resolution, too. In Yakuza, there also happens to be a Omi Alliance subsidiary that is called the Kijin Clan. Seems to be a recurring theme in Japanese media. Recurring word, at least. So much has happened between him and I. When this battle ends, I want to face Ramses one-on-one in sport, not war, as a martial artist. I'm sure he wishes the same thing, too. Perhaps. Faye, may I ask you something? About Ellie. What if, even if we break Zohar's spell, she doesn't return to normal? Ellie will be back to her usual self. I will go on believing in that. But even if that doesn't happen, I will still, well, let's just say I'm prepared for that too. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, you know. Your opponent is the person you love. If you decide to quit now, no one will blame you. To quit would be meaningless. All that I have fought for, and all that I live for, would come to have no meaning at all. People should be free, with no one bound by others, and no one binding others. Inside of me, there is a part of me that desires that freedom, and a part of me that gives me hope. So I shall fight to win true freedom, for we are still alive. We fight to live. That is the reason why I fight. It's proof I'm human. I promised my father, and myself too, that I would free Ellie from Deus's binds, that I would save her. I understand. So let's keep believing, and hope for a miracle. Great little scene there. I'm glad they wrapped all that up. Ramses really is a great villain. He's a very well-written villain. And honestly, I gotta give props to all the villain writing in Xenogears. You know, I've said before, I think Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has the greatest cast of villains in video games. However, Xenogears is a damn close second, to me at least. Every single villain, think about it, every single main antagonist in this game. Of course, there are the throwaway antagonists. You have, like, Shakan and Bishop Stone, but even Bishop Stone had a backstory. He was motivated by envy, and actually, I think he gives a lot more depth to Jesse through his actions as well. There's even more to that in Perfect Works, by the way, which I'll get to. But you know, Shakan and comparatively Bishop Stone. And then Batman pulls a Rex and marries the Element. Yeah, the real harem there. Wow, that would be funny actually. We got the Rex picture at the end of Xenoblade 3. Where's our Ramses and the Elements picture, please? But yeah, you think like besides like the minor villains that had like a role in the story and then not much else, you think about Ramses and his whole psychology, developing this inferiority complex, and now knowing, in hindsight, knowing what Krellin and Miang did to him, to manipulate him into doing, to creating that complex for him, and now seeing him overcome that, and having kind of a redemption arc to him, really, really great stuff. Krellin, everything we heard about his backstory, him losing faith in the religion that he had put faith into basically because of Sophia. He had turned his whole life around because he met Sophia at Nissan, put his whole faith into the doctrine that she had spouted, and then when Sophia sacrificed, he had nothing else to give him meaning in life. So he just denied God and found a way to create meaning on his own through creating God, through assisting with resurrecting Deus, and rose the ranks of Solaris, dedicating himself to the studies of the sciences. We have Groff being just like every single time Groth appears, him being completely badass, and him having that badass theme in the background, his design being awesome, his whole presence just being awesome, and on top of that, everything we know about him being Lacan, and having that desire for power, that unending desire for power, and almost destroying the world. Just every single antagonist in this game is so well written. Even Miang. Miang is, at the end of the day, is really just an AI, but all of the lore behind her gives, and also the plot twists and everything that we learn about Miang as the story goes on, and especially when she takes over Ellie and Merkava and we learn everything. There's depth to her character. Well, maybe I shouldn't say necessarily depth, but there's interesting context behind her character, and what she represents within the wider scope of Xenogears' world building is pretty incredible. Anyway, just wanted to say that Xenogears has some really, really, really good character writing in general, because as I said at the beginning of the stream, Faye is an amazing, amazing protagonist. One of my favorite protagonists in any video game, I would say. Up there with like Shulk and Xion. But also, of course, the antagonist being really, really well written as well. Anyway. We are to be judged, the last day is nigh. You too should be careful. It's all according to prophecy. What's your problem? Just when I thought I could ride the UFO, it's not flying anymore. On top of that, this guy keeps saying annoying stuff. I'm sliding around. Yahoo! I don't want you to think, what am I doing at a time like this? If I don't do this, I can't keep my composure. Just finding a way to distract themselves, I guess. Just when I thought Prince Bartholomew would return and bring peace to the land of Ave. Just goes to show, you never know what might happen in this world. I've heard rumors that a part of Nortu, the old capital of Kislev, survived. I wonder if they're still conducting that barbaric bar-telling thing. Really, I ask you, what are we to do with our menfolk these days? It's Dan. Dan came into that prison room in Shabbat and saw Faye in Carbonite and started to have doubts about his conceptions of Faye. Let's see what he says now. Get the resolution to his arc. In the prison, when I saw you change into a monster, I understood everything. Living inside of you, Faye, there is a monster that's not you. He's the bad one. He's to blame. So, to forgive you or not to forgive you? Well, that's the problem. It's not like it's gonna turn back things. It's not like it's gonna turn back things the way they were, but it's just, I don't know how to say it properly, but I'm sorry. It's all right, Dan. Enough already. I understand. It is my fault. I'm sorry I caused you so much pain. I'm just glad that I could finally make peace with you. Take care, kiddo. Midori? Faye, I was scared a little, but not really scared. Because I knew that inside of that monster, you were doing all you could to fight it, Faye. I knew it. Your psychic powers have come in handy so much. This statue, we saw that statue close to the beginning of the game in a music box that Satan said had been recovered from some ruins. And that was the first time we heard this game's main theme, Distant Promise. That statue was also in front of the palace in Shavat. And we saw that palace in that room in Shavat as well. We were told by someone in Shavat, I believe, someone in Eiffel Aura, that statue represented some woman figure from 500 years ago. Very likely Sophia. That's what we have to say about that. Very likely that represents Sophia. Hey, aren't these Pico tiles cute? They're going cheap, they're going cheap too. How about it? Cheap. Buy Pico tiles. Alright, 20,000 gold for the lot, and no haggling for a discount, so pay up. Forced to pay 20,000 gold. Seems like a lot, but I'll show you it's worth it. Thanks, they're really delicious if you grill them. Ah! I know nothing. We gotta go follow them. Off this way. Perhaps in this room. Oh, nothing. Where'd they go? I know they unlocked the way to a really important room. I can imagine the photo now, the elements behind Batman, all of them smiling, and Batman in the center with an awkward smile because he doesn't do photos often or at all. Yeah, something like that. Oh, okay, it's this. Okay, never mind. Why don't you go up? You can only access this once you have bought the... forced to pay for the Pico tiles. This brings us, if you remember, this was the choo-choo room, where the choo-choos in Shavat stayed. There's now this that has blocked the door, and all the choo-choos have left here, but you can still go in here. Received a Yamato belt. There's things we can get in here. Received a wizardry ring. Huh? It looks like a bunch of little kids' toys all lined up. It's pointless to take such things when we don't even know what's going to happen to this world. This isn't the time to be looking at such things as this. Come on, Faye. Okay. What else we can get from here? Yeah, okay, here we go. This is that strange old Grandpa Choo-Choo's precious treasure. I wonder what happened to him when Shavat crashed down to Earth. I haven't seen him. This treasure, can we just take it? I'm sure he won't mind if we just borrow it. There was a Grandpa Choo-Choo that mentioned something about guarding his treasure when we were last here. Received a hero costume. Received a Hercules ring. Anything else? Okay, anything over here? Just borrowing it. Hey, it's not like we're grave robbers or anything, right? So don't hex us or haunt us, okay? Please, we're begging you. See the vivid turban. See some speed shoes. Speed shoes are the best piece of equipment in the entire freaking game. And I'll go over that. Let's actually see what all these items do. Okay, the Yamato belt. Max HP up, 25% up, / restore. If this increases max HP and increases HP restored, is that what I'm getting? Nah. Defense down when allied KO'd. Increases defense by a lot, but that's an awfully harsh condition. I'll pass. Hercules ring, experience points gained up 50%. Really trying to grind, but this could be good, I guess, if you're trying to grind and level up some, if you feel like you're under-leveled. Speed shoes. 1/2 times time between turns. This is effectively the this is effectively the effect of booster in Gears, or the effect of Billy's Goddess Call. It's basically that effect. Makes a little orange ATP bar that makes you go twice as fast. This thing is broken. The speed shoes are broken because it is one of the only items in the game, to my knowledge, that it is a ground item. It is a ground equipment item. However, when you equip it to your ground characters, it applies to their gears as well. So, This is the item I referenced earlier. Effectively, your gear starts the battle in booster mode, remains in booster mode the entire fight without using any fuel. The speed shoes are incredible. That's why I really wanted to beat Hammer, because if we would have beaten Hammer in that fight, we get an item called the Trader card, which allows us to get particularly rare items from certain enemies. And there's an enemy here in the endgame where you can get many speed shoes. And if we were to get the Trader card, that would have allowed us to get speed shoes from those enemies. We can't do that now, so all we have left is just a shop that I'll be showing later in the stream. And you may have guessed, that's what I want that's what I wanted the money for, because I want a pair of speed shoes on each of our 3 party members. Although it's extremely expensive. They're very, very expensive. Sonic the Hedgehog shoes. Okay. One more room we have not been into in the Snowfield hideout. This guy. I think I still have treasure over there. Okay. What's his deal? I forgot what to do with him. Let me look this up really quick. Oh, okay. Okay, you can give him a gold nugget if you have one to dig for more, and he'll give you back a gold bullion. Okay, well, we could have gotten something better, but yeah, I've already sold off all my gold nuggets. It's not too worth it. Okay. Snowfield Hideout is a very dense place. There's a lot of different character moments that happen here, and people you can talk to from all different parts of the world that we've seen from throughout the game. Wait, I forgot one important part of the Batman and Elements photo. What is it? Let's take our Idrisil 4. Fly off. There is more of the world to explore. I'll show every inch of it. Down in this corner is the Anima Relic 1. This leads back to the ancient ruins, the more mechanical-looking ruins, where we found Anima Relic 1. If you have any reason to go back to that dungeon, you can go back to it here. We can also change our party members here, which I'd like to do. We can go back into the Idrisil and do that too, but yeah, just change it here. I want to put Emerald on our party for something later in the stream. Oh, of course, yeah. If it's analogous to the Xenoblade 3 photo, the elements would be holding their babies. Okay, so that's that yellow dot. Over on this continent, this is the forest, by the way, where you would be able to hunt the monsters that would drop the speed shoes. Fortunately, we can't do that. In fact, we may encounter them here. Which one? Yes! These monsters drop speed shoes if you have the trader card. We didn't get it. It's unfortunate. This is Tora's house. Tora Melchior's house. This is where Faye and Ellie landed at the end of disc 1. Can we talk to Tora Melchior? There he is. Thanks for visiting. You're looking mighty healthy. I want to help you more, but this body can't survive unless it breathes the air here. Looks like I'm just about ready to meet my maker, huh? Oh, Tora. Don't worry, I'll stop my moaning. Besides, I have a nice present for you. See the manly mantle, goddess robe. What are these things? Defense up when ally KO'd. Oh, is that? That has the same effect as... It's down when ally KO'd. Okay, so this is just a better version. This is the hero costume without the drawback. Okay. Well... Who would be most likely to survive out of this party? Sight. I'll get a sight. Better than this King's Helm. Okay. Guess we'll give you this. Oh, this is interesting. The Ether Doubler uses 2 times the EP to create 2 times the effect. I may just go ahead and give that to Emeralda. I mean, we can restore EP with outside of battle. We can just give that to her. Plus 5. Yeah, I think I'll just give that to Emeralda. Quite like the Ether Doubler. Anything better than the Devil Dress, Crimson Vest? Anything better than that? Yeah, the Goddess Robe. Yes, I'm putting that on Emeralda. Awesome. Okay. That's good. I don't believe there's anything else around his house. I think it's just, that's all I wanted to see from Melchior. Okay, off to the next location. This is the mass driver facility. We don't get to go inside of it, we just get to see the outside. Where they release the limiter seal. Now we're back on Ignis. They said Bledavik was destroyed, but it's here, it's just not accessible. But for all intents and purposes, it's destroyed, and so is Bart's hideout. And so is Nissan over there. But we did hear parts of Nortune survived. Let's go check this out. Had to have parts of Nortune survive, so you'd be able to play the battling minigame. Of course, the Central District is gone because that is Idrisil 4. But in its place is the Blue Crystal, where you can buy luster parts. Or sell them. Wait, is this buying or selling? Oh, no, we're selling them, okay. Let's just go ahead and sell all the stuff we have off. So I believe we have quite a bit. This basically acts as the B info center since all the people have left Nortune. Sell off all of our monster parts. I have a lot of things. Nice. Grand scheme of things is not actually that much, but it's something. This won't take that long, Raheen. That's a good payout. And then hot meat. Okay, we don't have any. Okay, well, that's good. Got some money from that, and then we can go back to the C block. What is this called? Imperial C block recreation. Oh, okay, it's just the same thing it was called before. And there are still people here running the battling arena. What inhumed our world that day was an angel, a so-called messenger of God. My sister, my mother, my father, they're all dead. I am a soldier of the military empire of Kislev, and yet I could do nothing. Damn it! Damn everything! Damn. There's people hiding out in here. Big Joe! Destruction was poured out onto our entire world. Death poured down on all the living. It was fate, unavoidable fate. Allow me to show my appreciations for all you have done, fellas. I brought this here from the Wildcat Bar in what was the Imperial capital Nortune. I also fixed it up a little. Should be a lot more friendlier now, but you'll never know unless you try, so give it a listen, huh? It was hard to get rid of the elegant old grain look it had when placed in the Wildcat, but, well, anyway, don't you think the new faux marble design is kind of groovy? His little pose. So we brought the juice box in from the Wildcat Bar. We can still listen to stuff from here. What is emotion again? Oh, there's several tracks now because we've collected more. That's hardly an emotion theme. Come on now. Requiem? What's Requiem? Oh, okay. Don't exactly want to hear that one. What's Zero? Yeah. Two. Yeah. The battle themes. 2. Okay, I can go with this one. This is called Still Giants, I believe, in the soundtrack. Continent of Ignis and its countries, the Empire of Kislev and the Kingdom of Ave. These are all no longer exist. Our world lost such names on that day. The survivors have gathered in the snowfield far to the south. It's the last stand of the living. I abandoned this place once, but it's the city in which I was born. I can't turn my back on it that easily. That's why I came back to what was once the Imperial capital. Even if destruction was to come upon this world, I'd go on protecting it. Loyal to the end. Oh, so you too heard the rumors and came to try out battling here at this place once known as Kislev? The world has been shattered by angels of death, but we still live on like this. This is not the end for us. I'm a battler, a warrior. I'll fight on to the end. Unto death do me part. Diana, not a name I'm familiar with. From that day on, peace has disintegrated, but we are alive. That's a truth that can't be changed. It's not that everything has ended. Our planet has just returned to its original state, and we are still alive. All has not been lost. Looking at your eyes, I know you too haven't lost your hope. I remember that day you came to the Imperial capital. Sorry, I don't know who you are. You seem to know who I am, but I don't know who you are. But yeah, you can talk to this woman, and you can keep battling, and you can win a bunch of stuff and exchange them for really, really cool rewards. You learn nothing gained, asking you shall receive. What do you play anything new? Just control. Okay, that's not what I wanted to know. You? Come to the Imperial Capital's battling arena, enter a battling match. You're the new one. BP Exchanger Girl. Here we go. So you can battle at the in the battling arena, and you just battle random opponents from among the remaining Amazonesses. Big O. And we need to track down its theme. That's right. When it was torn apart. That's a great song. I love that song. It played in that entire sequence to in Faye's mind talking to Ian the Coward. And you can you can battle and gain battling points, and you can exchange them for items. But it costs a lot of items to be able to, or lots of battling points to be able to get the real rare items. Stuff you're really after is over on page 2 and 3. The X Charger, I believe, does like 200 fuel per charge. Death Blower 3, and you can get Speed Shoes. Speed Shoes, however... Oh, you need to... Damn it! Anyway, it's a lot. You can go back and pause the video if you'd like. But it's a hell of a lot of Faye Jr. and Bart Jr. lol. It's a hell of a lot of BP, and it would take a long time, lots and lots and lots of battling. Normal battle exchange, you can exchange the battle points. Okay, yeah. I'm actually going to press this. Anyway, it would take a lot of battling to be able to get there. It's a very inefficient way of getting to the Speed Shoes, but it is a way of getting to the Speed Shoes. I think it's a little more efficient to just grind up some money. I'll have to do most of that off camera, I believe. Okay, change my mind. I'm leaving you. You're annoying. More than anything. So yeah, they did make this into a fully fledged minigame with rewards in the endgame, but you just forget about it. Well, this is its theme. I forgot that I actually played on the Kislev map here. God, I love this song. It's so perfectly atmospheric. Okay. Next on our agenda, let's go up to the north. Try to see what this little dot is. This is the second Anima Relic dungeon. If you have any reason to go back here, you can. This is where like the Croaker tribe frog people were, if you remember. On this continent is Deus. It's the end of the game. Not going there yet. Not quite prepared for that. Fully mutated Merkaba. And there's no dot for it. I believe you can still go back into... maybe not. There's a different area that there's no dot for. Maybe you can go back into Battle Tower, but I could be wrong. This crater. What is this crater for? Oh, is this where Solaris fell? Possibly. Okay. Okay. Something else I'm looking for. This area. Forgot which island it's on. It's not represented with a yellow dot on the map. It's a very, very important spot, and it's going to be like the bulk of the rest of the stream. Here it is. North end of the Akivi Archipelago. A fight, of course. Let's see what these enemies are. New type of enemy. Let's send up to our God Gear, though. Let's charge. What are these enemies called? Xenogears. These are interesting. So, if you remember from the soil facility that Faye and Ellie went to try to free those people, that huge mass of flesh that had been accumulating from all the people who had come to the soil system facility was called a Sufal mass. These are gears made from human flesh, made at those Soylent System facilities. Remember, it was those Sufal masses that, for a brief time, Krellian and the Gazelle Ministry had used this kind of to create an army for themselves, so they could launch their raid on Mehanan. So, yeah, kind of dark. They're still around. It didn't go away. They just kind of wander the earth now that the Gazelle Ministry is gone, and that Krellian is now a part of Deus. Okay, lighthouse. The base of this lighthouse was built several thousand years ago. Islanders added a light to make it into a lighthouse, but no one knows what it really is. Interesting. In Disc 1, you could see the lighthouse, but it wasn't an area you could actually enter. Now we can actually go into it. Look inside. So this lighthouse, the Akivi Lighthouse, is a pretty extensive side quest. It's one that is very, very, very worth doing, because this is where we get all of the additional backstory and lore regarding the Zeboim civilization, which is not expanded on nearly enough in the main story. And of course, along with that, backstory for Emeralda. And backstory for a certain other character that you probably wouldn't have expected to actually get backstory. But you'll see. The city we saw from Emeralda's ruins. We've come a long way from there. Now we actually get a chance to explore one of those Zeboim cities. Looks a lot like our own Earth. A downtown area. Roads and large buildings. Signs. Steel. The Deathblower 3. Basically just another thing I can sell at this point. There are enemies here. Gurkers. These little guys. Wipe them out, Emeralda. Over. Can we get skeleton fangs from those? Gosh. Can we just escape from this? Alright. So that we can actually enter. Deathblower 2. To explore this place, though, because we keep getting attacked. What the hell? Did you guys hear that? That was from outside my window. Some person just screamed. Interesting. What's these guys do? Oh. Just take them out with the nuclear attack. Whatever. I will say it feels good now that Faye's gear, given the fact that Faye is a required character for nearly the entire game, besides the small point in the Akivi arc when he's incapacitated. Like, given that, it's nice now that Faye's gear is actually, like, good. Because I didn't know if that came across the mic, the yell, but you heard it. That was crazy. Anyway, what I was saying, Veltal for most of the game, despite being required to have in your party, is kind of outclassed by nearly every other gear we have. And there's a lot of times in the game where I would just prefer taking it out. It's been nice in Disc 2, now that, especially with Veltal 2 having System ID, and those other offensive ether moves that it can use, and now, of course, Xenogears being the best gear in the game. It's nice actually having Faye's gear be a useful one, rather than just kind of, I don't want to say a lame duck, but not as good as Heimdall, or especially once we started getting Omni gears as good as those, and we could have like Anvari and Siebzen in our party, but we still had to lug around Veltal. It was kind of tedious. Maybe tedious isn't the right word, but it's whatever. Save. This is an interesting building we have entered. It's like a theater of some kind. ND. It's a news broadcast. Okay, it's a news station. Okay, interesting. What's this movie? A record of the Zeboim culture that died out 4,000 years ago. It's a familiar face. Stop it! Who is this woman? Miang, as she appeared in the Zeboim era, but I don't know who her host body was. She resided at the side of the Prime Minister, manipulating the world behind the scenes, as she always has done. Those are gears from that time to resurrect Deus. In the beginning, yes, but later it was different. Many people then couldn't have children. They were defective humans, so she did it over again. Of course, Faye has memories of all of this. Right before man was about to be killed out by war, a new being was born to foster the next generation. Remember the missiles in the mass driver facility? That was the most important thing to the Zeboim people. Because of that, we now are descendants of the few strong people who survived. A slipping economy, rising crime, urban blight, a nation of fanatics looking for their own living space. Believing in religious sect leaders and gathering around totalitarian rulers. These people were cut off from the next generation thanks to the genetic damage, and would have died out if left to their own devices. So Ellie and I took the hopes of the people and created Emeralda. It's a dying civilization, and Esmeralda was supposed to be their hope. Anything else I can see around here? The only thing? Okay, I guess that's the only thing in this room. Is this money? Stacks? No, those are... Okay, those are DVDs. Okay. The Zeboim civilization seems awfully realistic and modern from those images. Planes and modern-looking soldier uniforms, all kinds of things like that. Not to mention war and totalitarian leaders and religious cult fanatics. It all sounds, all strikes pretty close to home, I would say. Looks like we can get out of our gears and go in here on foot. Okay, well we just did that, so no reason to do that again. It looks like we can get out of our gears and go in here on foot, just like the last one. What would this be? A discussion on the excavated slave generators and their special effects. Strange engines discovered in structures buried underground in ancient times, the sub or slave generators, hereafter abbreviated as SGs, have, after a diverse study, become widely known to have their output divided into 3 levels. However, it has been ascertained that a higher mode exists that far surpasses those output levels. For convenience sake, we shall call this hyper mode. Hyper mode is invoked at a certain probability when an SG's attack level reaches 3. The explanation below covers the various conditions and probabilities for invocation that we have been able to ascertain at present, assuming that an SG has been installed into a humanoid fighting machine, gear. In all cases, a basic constant exists, which we observe to be approximately the value of 5. The probability is computed by multiplying this constant by 1/10 the percentage that the HP has been reduced. So this actually goes into how the probability for hypermode is actually calculated, which is interesting, I guess, if you're interested in this. But what's more important here is the term slave generator. If any of you are familiar at all with in Xenoblade 2, or rather outside of Xenoblade 2, I should say, there was I believe it was Japan only, maybe it was sold in the US, I'm not sure. There was a model siren figure that had on its back, or in a manual or something like that, I don't know for sure, a long lore dump that was never in main game Xenoblade 2 about some of the early Xenoblade, about some of the things in Xenoblade 2. And one of the things it goes over is, within the artifices that were originally constructed by the Earth people, by Klaus's people, which actually gives a name to, that little lore dump gives the name Alidos to the people of to Klaus's research group. The artifices that they constructed had what they refer to as slave generators, which drew their power from the conduit to be able to function. In a similar way, the gears of Xenogears have slave generators that draw their power from the Zohar. And there's more to that that's in Perfect Works that's actually quite interesting, but I will save that again for when I discuss Perfect Works. Anything else interesting I can find here? Is that it? There's one thing I'm looking for in particular. I don't know if it's in this room, but it's in one of these buildings. Okay, let's just go up. Chest here. Floor 1. Just more stuff to sell, really. I've never found the extra X death blows to be very useful. It's a maze of sorts, I guess. These boxes here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This may answer your question here. Former WWW heavyweight champion and five-time hit movie star Big Joe, real name Joey Balboa, added NBA's Player of the Match to his list of accomplishments for the year, which includes the Wimbledon Grand Slam, a baseball Triple Crown, and the Pulitzer Prize. But at the award ceremony, when he went to shake hands, he slipped, hit his head, and went home brain damaged, burnt out, and thinking he's Elvis. So, Big Joe backstory. Bet you didn't expect to get backstory on Big Joe. But yeah, Big Joe, or Joey Balboa, yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Big Joe was a citizen of the Zeboim civilization, and by the way, all of this here, the fact that there's a WWW, oh, there's more, okay, I'll get to this in a minute. The fact that there's a WWW wrestling league, the fact that there's a Pulitzer Prize, the fact that there's an NBA, right, this further lends credence to the similarity between the Zeboim civilization and the real world. Is interesting. Something else I can talk about that's elaborated on in Perfect Works, but interesting nonetheless. Big Joe is a citizen of Zeboim. And ended up washing up in Ignis at some point after being down in Zeboim, floating around even after Zeboim was destroyed, and now just ends up in places as we've seen him throughout the game. So, yeah, there you go. Big Joe backstory. The Eldridge was equipped with history's first ever inexhaustible pseudo-perpetual engine. This was not just a highly efficient generator, but it also made possible the production of defense fields from its unique AO, absolute object space, and the actuation of hyperlight speed, SV, subject variable navigation, etc. With a design based on the Heisenberg proposition's S matrix, which is the solution to the uncertainty principle's reciprocal relationship with particles, or cosmic wave, it was thus also known as the S matrix engine, or Heisenberg engine. In principle, assuming all phenomena of the immediate future, including the present, are potential phenomena, it actualizes the most convenient phenomenon amongst these active subjects as the actual phenomenon, and accordingly takes advantage of the resulting energy of potential displacements. Okay, so that goes into actually how it's elaboration on what Seiton was getting at earlier on how the Zohar actually works. It's a lot of quantum mechanics, and I'm going to explain it in the most rudimentary way I think I can possibly explain it. Bear with me here a little bit. It's very sci-fi, but also kind of sort of rooted in actual concepts. Basically, in quantum mechanics, exists what's called a wave function, right? Get your mind wrapped around this for a second. All particles, according to quantum mechanics, exist not in one place, in one state at one time, but actually in a probability distribution of many different places in many different states at one time. It's just what we perceive as its state. When we perceive a particle, that particle's wave function, or the range of possibilities for where it is and how it is, collapses onto one specific thing that we observe as the particle being in that place with that state. Does that make any sense? Like we perceive a particle at one place at one time with one certain speed or whatever. But in actuality, that one position and speed is one of a range of possibilities. Okay, so that's what a wave function is. In quantum mechanics, the wave function collapses, so to speak, whenever an observer, a human, observes a particle. So, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle states that there are conditions, there are variables, I should say, about particles that we cannot simultaneously know. For example, we cannot know a particle's position and its speed at the same time. It's generalized as momentum, but same thing. But we can't know where a particle is and how fast it's moving at the same time. We can only know one or the other. Because when we observe the position, the speed is still part of a probability. When we observe the speed, the position is still part of a probability of things. So, anyway, that may go over your head. That's an explanation of that, though. Basically, what this is talking about here, Perfect Works calls this phenomenon phase shift. It is the process of how the Zohar works to generate energy. Basically, the Zohar resonates with people who use it. And the Zohar can examine a bunch of different possible futures like a particle does. Like, just as we can see, just as like a wave function, just as particles are part of like a wave function of many different possibilities of where they could be, the future is like many different possibilities, right? And the Zohar is able to see many different possibilities. Remember, that's powered by the wave existence, which is trapped inside it. It's able to see all these different possibilities. And the people who resonate with the Zohar and use it are able to, the Zohar is able to like tap into their mind and collapse the range of possibilities for future outcomes into one single outcome. Think of it like, let's say the Zohar was real and I was able to resonate with the Zohar. And I could say, I want a big apple pie right in front of me. The Zohar has a bunch of different future, or let's put it somewhere more realistic. Let's say I want to make an A on a test. All right. The Zohar is able to see all the different possibilities of future outcomes of what you could have made on a test. But since I resonate with the Zohar, I collapse the future into I make an A. And the Zohar makes it possible that I made an A. That makes sense? There's a quantum physics explanation for that whole phenomenon. It's called phenomenon phase shift. Quantum physics suggests that when a wave function collapses, energy is produced. So, just like that, whenever the Zohar collapses future phenomenon into one single phenomenon, energy is released. And that's how the Zohar acts as a perpetual motion machine, because it can constantly produce energy from this, which is how it powers up all of the ether that everyone uses in the Xenogears world and all of the gears. So in reality, what people are doing when they use ether, what our party members are doing when they use ether, is they are making requests for certain things to happen to the Zohar, and the Zohar is kind of conforming the future around their requests. It's like, make a fire appear. Request goes to the Zohar, and the Zohar morphs the future around making a fire appear for them. Or make this gear move. The Zohar conforms the future around the slave generator being able to move. The slave generator is the core part of the gear. Anyway, that's a long explanation for it. Perfect Works has more on this. That's basically how the Zohar works, if you may or may not have asked. And it seems that the Eldridge machine, the engine that powered the Eldridge, which is the ship that crash landed on this planet, also worked with that same principle, which is how it was able to generate so much energy and travel so quickly and carry so many people. Anyway, there you go. There's some Xenogears lore and rudimentary quantum mechanics together, which, honestly, considering this game, are not too far apart from each other. This is interesting. You're playing the flight music here. Hey, Joe! Book 1. UFO photo. Aquasol. Let's see that book and the UFO photo. Okay, we got book 2 earlier, not very comical anymore. Book 1, The Adventures of Big Joe. Nice. And book 3, Helpful Hellfire Touches. Okay. I guess we got those earlier at some point. I don't even remember. What was the other thing we got? The UFO photo? UFO photo shows a typical Adamski type. Okay. Anyway, Big Joe! How do you like my shot? Pretty good, huh? It's Joe's shop, so of course it's all Joe brand. You can buy items and gear parts here. Among these items are every drive you could want. This is, by the way, how you make Choo Choo relentlessly overpowered, because you can just buy drives for her here and they transfer into your gear form. And we can buy gear parts, which is the more important part. Big Joe sells the best engines in the entire game. These are overpowered. This one is a B80, 80 output, but only 2,000 fuel. So basically, these are all or nothing engines. This is the Omega 100. Is the strongest engine in the entire game. It has 100 output, but only 1,000 fuel, as opposed to right now, Xenogears has 8,000 fuel. So you only have a little bit of fuel, but you can do a hell of a lot of damage. The little bit of fuel doesn't end up mattering. There are builds, you can go see them online. There are builds that use there are some people who play this game and try to go for 3 Omega 100s on the 3 gears they take into Deus, and just go complete ham on the entire dungeon. If that's the way you would like to play, either get this game yourself. It's very expensive, and play that way, or watch other people play that way. That will not be how I play. I like to have my fuel, and I don't want the last dungeon being piss easy. But yes, if you would like to, you can make it piss easy for a hell of a lot of money. 65,000 gold. And that would be how you would do it. You get Omega 100s on your entire party. In addition, he has the best frames in the game for Styre and Zeevzen. These may actually be worth buying if you plan on using Styre or Zeevzen, because the gear shop back in the Snowfield hideout does not have frames for Styre or Zeevzen. So these may actually be worth picking up. And of course, it has some of the best armor in it. Of course it does. In fact, 38,000 HP? Hefty price. Man. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, 36,000. You can make Styre and Zeevzen very durable gears, or emulate the game. You can do that too. Very durable gears, very tanky gears. If you'd like to. I don't think I'm going to do that though. That's a lot of money, and I'd prefer to save that money for speed shoes whenever I can find that shop. What parts does he sell? Of course, SX Z chargers. Z chargers may actually be useful. Restores 500 fuel. These, honestly, like, picking up one for, like, 3 of these, one for each of your party, would not be a bad option. Be very useful. Not to go all the way into hyper mode to be able to charge up. It could be very useful. Myself, I don't know. I feel like I can put better things in my gears. Engine output up 20%. This could be really... Okay, wow. That could be really dangerous. For the enemy, of course. Power Magic, I already have one on Emeralda. That would be the only one I'd want Power Magic on, so... If I'm going for anything like that. Huh. Okay. What about weapons? Got some ammo. It's best ammo in the game. I guess I'll buy weapons. Let me check the internet for where I can buy speed shoes. I may not actually be able to buy speed shoes. Okay, yeah, never mind. You can only get speed shoes from the sluggers in in the forest around Tora's house. So no 3 speed shoes for me. Or from, I guess, yeah, from the gear battling arena. No way to buy them. Jeez, okay. Okay, well, I'll just have one on Xenogears then, or Faye. It's on Faye, it applies to Xenogears. And I can use that money to buy something else. These are crazy good. So I can sell all the death blowers. I'm not going to use these. Much. I'm not gonna put this magnetic coat on anyone. The magnetic coat is actually a good item for, especially for response, but I don't think I'm actually gonna put it on anyone. Okay. Now, as far as what I'm going to buy, I'm probably going to just grind for gold off camera. Try to pick up more of these items. I'm gonna pick up right now. These G and RSs look really good. Or the Z chargers could be really useful. With as long of a dungeon as Deus is, these are going to be good to have. I'm going to buy at least one of them. Now I will go grind for gold elsewhere. Try to get something else from here. I will do a lot of preparation for the final dungeon off camera. Okay. Right now, though, it's enough messing around with all of that. Let's see if we can find something else over at this part of the city. Hammerheads. Morale will take care of them. Turbogeist. For some reason, I remember the shell bells being really, having some weird quality with using ether on them. So I'm afraid to use ether on them. Beat them that way. Okay, so what is over on this side? Something here? Is it an entrance to something? No? Okay. Oh, griffins. Yeah, I think I'm okay with only having the speed shoes on this day. Really only being the only one that would use it on. Sucks that I didn't get the trader card from Hammer though. Would have been able to get more from the sluggers. Okay, right there. Looks like we can get out of our gears and go in here on foot. There's a pothole in the road. Seems to lead through some subway tracks. Old station. Ooh, just. That's a Z charger. Nice. It's good to have. Saves me 50,000 gold. That was going to buy another one. Where are we? Memories coming back to him. Congratulations, Ellie. Another year has come and passed. Yes, Happy New Year, Ken. I don't know what it is, but just now, you sounded like an old person speaking. No, well, this time last year I thought the war would come this far. Yes, but we managed to get by without getting involved. But it's not over yet. Why, at this very moment, people are still dying. Let's stop talking about this. Let's not dwell on the past year, not at the start of a new year. Yes, well, today at least, I want to spend a day without worrying. Stupid idiots! A bunch of fools! Kim, you're too loud. I don't care if they hear me. All the people here are also fools. Kim! Think about it. What's the purpose of fighting each other on such a tiny planet as this? Fighting out of fear of being hunted into a corner. Rushing in to fight as if there were only so many reserved seats to the right of life. Starting a war is stupid. Inciting it is also stupid. Killing people as an act of terrorism or as a protest against wars that kill people is just as stupid. You're all fools! Kim, I felt sorry for that child. But I don't think people intervened destroyed the generator with that intention. They don't have any other ways to express themselves. The government is the one to blame. Is that a good enough reason for that child or those dead people? It wasn't much of an operation. It was difficult, but there was enough chance to win. We'd have won if we had better equipment. That child would have been saved if there wasn't electricity. It's not just that child. 5 people died in my hospital. The ICU didn't function. Stupid, just fools. Humans, creatures are meant to live. Why do they want to die out? Why do they strangle themselves? Humans are defective creatures, a bunch of fools. That's why genetic damage is up lately. The birth rate is also going down. Only 30 years to live. Nature, this planet, won't allow humans to live any longer than that. Am I a fool too? Huh? I had a physical at the hospital today. They said I can't have children because of hereditary genetic damage. I can't create life. I am a creature waiting to become extinct. Am I also a fool? It's no good. It's not going to work. Somehow we must break the spell or the humans on this planet will die out. No, I don't care about humans. Life itself will be ruined if we don't do something. Some pure life, not cursed. A pure life, This is the new spirit that will break the curse. It hasn't awakened yet. The form was created by nanomachines, but neural simulation hasn't been assembled by the assembler tower yet. It's physically stable, but still doesn't function as a living creature yet. A nanomachine colony. No matter how many times we rewrite the heredity codes, the impressions embedded in our bodies cannot be stopped. It was necessary to pursue this further. We had to create the molecular, actually the atomic level, by referring to the structural patterns of you and I. This child holds our futures and possibilities. Can this child be the angel who can give us one more time? Can give us more time? So sorry. Reading all these so wrong. So Kim and Ellie were able to have a child, nevertheless. They just had to make it themselves. Through science.
I remember long ago, you, Kim, died. Right before Town died. It was because soldiers of Town tried to use me.
That's right. The memory in my soul, it was left in me for your sake.
While I being held, Krelian told that the ultimate work of art that technology gave birth to. Yes, I knew I was Thing. Look, my body. Different from Maria, Margie, and Ellie. Human imitation, but different. Kim and Ellie said I was Angel.
Yes, you are the child I or Kim wished for. Kim has been a part of me, in my blood, passing his memory down the generations for the past 4,000 years, existing for the day that the child who was never able to embrace for so long would be born.
Faye, thank for being substitute Kim till now, but it okay. I be strong and make Kim and Ellie proud that I their child. What? Faye, body so hot. Faye, hold me tight. Don't let go.
Faye, body. I became adult. I not get in your way anymore. We saw puberty happen within the span of 2 seconds. Damn. Esmeralda's all grown up now, though. And you may be able to see some Poppy inspiration in Esmeralda as well. At least I do. But her growing up through a side quest and all that, like reaching her adult form in a side quest, and being, for Kim and Ellie, the child they never could have had because of the genetic disease. And the way they could possibly save humanity as well. And for Tora, it was kind of that same thing. He couldn't have a blade because of his aptitude. Or rather, his dad and granddad couldn't either. And Poppy ended up saving that world too. So I see the inspiration myself. Anyway, that's the end of that side quest. And that is all we can do here in the basement of the Akivia Lighthouse. I will, of course, be going back to Big Joe's shop off camera to be able to buy some better items in preparation for the final dungeon. But for right now, I will be leaving. These griffins can get annoying. I think my go-to for grinding for gold off camera is going to be, I'm going to go to the second Animal Relic dungeon and just fight those croakers over and over again. And I can get a bunch of monster parts from those, eyeballs, fangs, and things, scales, and sell those at the blue crystal in Cartoon. I think that'll be my go-to. I think 2 Z chargers is fine. I can have them on 2 of my party members. I think I'll try to grind up some gold for, I want to get some of those GNRS things. Increase our gear output a little bit. Beyond just our engines. I think that'll be useful.
make us quite a bit more powerful. Of course, as with everything, Perfect Works gives more context and more information about the war and everything going on in the Zeboyman civilization. Basically, you could probably already pick it up there. There was a war that the government had declared. There were a lot of people who were protesting the war. One of the protest groups was kind of a terrorist group called Ravine. A lot like Avalanche from Final Fantasy VII. And similarly, they bombed a generator and killed some people. So you could probably infer all of that, but you know, there was a war going on, and at the same time, the war was kind of harming all of their young people, which was causing a spread of genetic disease. Their bodies were becoming diseased. And Perfect Works goes into the fact... Oh, die on me, Saidi. Perfect Works adds more detail to something that we heard briefly earlier from Faye when we saw the picture of Niang on that computer screen. At some point, humanity had become so diseased that Niang just kind of declared an apocalypse. She was the one that manipulated the war to happen so that she could like basically wipe out like a bunch of the Zeboyman civilization and start over, which is why the Zeboyman civilization no longer exists. She manufactured that war so she could kill off humanity, have a few of the strong ones left, and so that she can basically like rebirth humanity to be better flesh again for Deus, because genetically diseased flesh couldn't work for Deus' resurrection. So she manufactured the war that destroyed Zeboyman. As with nearly every event in the history of the Xenogears world being manufactured from behind the scenes by Niang. Niang was also the one that manufactured effectively the Diabolos collapse, because she was the one that manipulated Lacan into going and seeking out the Zohar, and seeking out the Diabolos that would wreak havoc on the world 500 years ago. So she is the cause behind basically everything. I remember my first time through, that was a really fascinating thing to discover, because Miang had always been such a minor character throughout much of Disc 1. You knew that there was something going on with her, but you didn't really know, like, anything. She was just kind of that weird subordinate to Ramses for so long. She had a pretty unremarkable gear. She didn't really say anything too remarkable. You knew that she knew Groff, because they had talked occasionally, but nothing more than that. And then the more you learn about Miang in Disc 2, it really pulls the rug out from under you, just like learning just how much Miang had become involved with. Or had always been involved with, not become involved with, had always been involved with, and her role in everything. So, one last thing I want to show in the postgame, and we'll wrap up the stream, is Dunman Isle. This was the Isle of Treasure that, friggin' the captain, I'm losing it tonight, I'm sorry, that the captain had mentioned back in the Snowfield hideout. See, let's get my gears healed up here. Really, I can do that on a shot. Let's get Fenrir healed up a little more. Oh, she doesn't have a frame HP. Hang on, that's concerning. Crescent needs a frame HP. Yeah, she doesn't need that much. Oh, come on. I don't have any? Off camera. We don't use our gears for this anyway. This is a ground thing. I guess we can enter with our gears. Dunman Isle is essentially an optional dungeon. Plays the tennis music too. Yo, we're to marry Dunman! Looking for treasure. West side ho, east side ho! This is our turf, oh yeah! No, ain't no place for gears here. Land is a-changin'. Why? We're not even sure. Anyway, it'd be really dangerous. This ain't no place for wimps like y'all. If you still don't get it, listen to us very carefully. Go home! You wanna go back? Nope. You're so stubborn! And we can fight these guys.
You can say Miang sucks, Raccoon, but remember, Miang is nothing more than a program. She's just the AI behind Deus, executing a program with one single objective to resurrect Deus. So you can say that she sucks, but does she really have any free will? At the end of the day, she's just a computer program. And really, at the end of the day, every bit of conflict... I love Emeralda's new battle or victory pose. That's cool. Every conflict throughout the entirety of Xenogears, all of the suffering that we've seen in the world has all just been the design of Deus. Mostly through Miang, but regardless, the design of Deus, and Deus is nothing more than AI. So, you know, who's really the bad guy? It's all just consequential. Anyway, so I'm not going to go through the entirety of Doom and Isle. There are some good things you can get here, and also, yes, you have to fight the, there are several times like this where there are gear enemies you have to fight on the ground. That's why I'm not going through all of this, because our ground fighters are not exactly well for this. Zardanian soldiers, yeah, basically. Enemies you fight here. There's treasure you can get here. There's some good stuff. Items. I think there's a, like, Bart's ultimate weapon you can get here. There's some other good stuff you can get. Guess you can grind for gold here. I'm not going to do all of this, but basically, this just keeps going to the right, and you can keep encountering enemies. You get to this section, and you start encountering some really bad enemies, so I'm not going to spend too much time here. But yeah, you can go around, search for treasure. It's a pretty big area, actually. I'm not going to do all this. I don't find it very worth it. Oh, well. Okay. Fine. There's more to explore then. Okay, I guess I'll go around a little bit. Pen sharks. Seeing all the old enemies from the Ignis Desert. I'm just... There's not even a boss. It's just treasure. Find here. I have no idea where I'm going here. Boo! Yeah, these suck. The dragon sucks, especially. I can't fight you. I wouldn't win. There's specific builds, there are strategies you can use to fight gear-type enemies on the ground, but I'm just not gonna mess with this. What are you saying boo for? Yeah, I'll leave. If you would like me to do the no boss in the desert, yeah. If anybody would like me to go through all of the Doomman Isle dungeon, like as a post-game thing, I can. But
I'll only do it if there's like a decent demand for it. Otherwise, I'm not going to mess with it too much. Anyway, with that, we have seen the entirety of, or everything there is to see, rather, of what has happened to the Xenogears world after everything of Disc 2. After the destruction of Solaris, after Deus has begun destroying everything, after everything. There is one more thing I want to show before we end the stream. I want to show the inside of the Idris 04 and see what's changed with the NPCs in there. And then we'll end off the stream. I believe all of our characters say new things as well. We went through a lot together. This one's going to be really tough, but we won't die. We'll come back alive. I'll be asking you to join me again when this is all over. Jericho is serious. I should put more oomph into it too. The ship's missiles might not work on that monster. You think? Oh, sorry. I didn't realize that you were there. Want to hear some hot sounds that I've recorded? Franz is the same as usual. You're bad. You could have seen the world between the static. Let's put more oomph into it. I'm finally getting used to being in the sky, but I shouldn't get too relaxed yet. Well, I've heard of static since then. Hope people are still alive out there. Our maps are not much of a help anymore. You want to see the ship's chart? Yeah, the ship's chart hasn't exactly been updated for everything. Actually, no, it has. Never mind. Yeah, Deus is there. Okay. Well, I'll take that back. Here's an interesting note. All of the yellow dots we see when we're flying around are just what's on the ship's chart, not necessarily put like everywhere we could go. That's why the lighthouse wasn't there until we went there. That's why Doomman Island didn't show up as a yellow dot until we went there. That needs to be rewritten because of what's happened. It seems so. May not have noticed it, but even since the time you guys came here, that tree's grown a little bit. It may only be little by little, but it still means our hopes and dreams are growing to fruition. And Bart has grown too. Colin, I've been standing here for such a long time. Was I of any help to you? I don't remember you doing anything. Oh yeah? Well, there are a lot of people who get lost around here, you know. Now where was I? You can say if I say yeah. Of course. Well, I'm happy to hear that, even if you're not being truthful. Damn it. Saw right through me. Let's see Rico. Whoever's in this room. Maria. Bonds between my father and I can't be broken. Maybe we got to see more of her after everything happened in Shabbat. Go here. And Hammer used to be here too. It's a shame what happened to him. We'll never forgive what they did to him. He did nothing wrong. It's Krellion's manipulation. Same with Ramses. Hammer is very likely the inspiration behind Yorin in Xenoblade 3. I may have mentioned that before. But you can see a lot of parallels in their character arcs. I forgot his name. The dog. They gave him a name earlier on in the game. I forgot his name. Cool, break if the toroid is cooled down completely. It's big, but it's delicate. Alright, I'll leave you to that. Old Mason? Here's the final hours approaching. If need be, this Mason will also take up arms and come to your aid. We saw him do that once, we know he's capable. Aegisol? That... I guess that's new. Aegisol and Aegisol. I guess these are new. You just outright block those status effects. Hope I can be of such service again. Billy. It was a long journey. What we did was not in vain. Let's prove it. You know, one thing that is left unresolved is Jesse. We don't see Jesse at all in Disc 2. The game just never says what happens to him. The last time we saw him, it was in Solaris when he was confronting Ramses at the gate generator that was in Solaris. And I guess he was there when they were freezing Faye and Carbonite, or they were like voting on freezing Faye and Carbonite. But we never got to see him in Disc 2. It's a shame because he's a really interesting character. And the actual game doesn't even go through all of his backstory. There's more of his backstory in Perfect Works. It's beyond my ability to understand, but regardless, I'm counting on you. No one else can do this. Got to work hard for my daughter's future. Good enough rest and be ready for the decisive battle. Why not? Will Messi Sabro with it? Yeah, Mason is basically Alfred. It's the role he's played. The old butler. As long as you're alive, I'll be happy. I don't know you, but thank you for the support, I guess. Choo-Choo is not in this room. Interesting. Primera. Just holding a note. Oh yeah, this is the. I keep forgetting every time I see this. That's the gun explanation. You're the only ones who can save us. We're counting on you. Funny, I don't see Choo-Choo anywhere. Where'd she go off to? Yeah, let's change party. I want to put Billy in the party so I can adjust his gear, and then put Bart in just so I can see what the others say outside of the party. I'll remember to obey lights out from now on, so please come back alive. I guess it comes up with a different reason for why he's standing in front of that for like, different points of the game. Oh, I want to see his gear. I can basically sell all of his other shots, all of his other ammo. Mara's been holding a note on how Billy used his guns for how long? Yeah, basically the entire game. Just a refresher if you ever need it. Something should happen, I'll go too. That's the spirit of Idrisil Greer troops. Ha ha hoo ha hoo ha. Sell. We'll just sell all this. Except for these two. Maybe the Terra. We'll keep the arrows. Let's come back now, you hear? It's always an emotional line to hear whenever you get to the end of an RPG like this. You must come back now, you hear? Choo-choo! There you are. In the place of where Vierge was when Ellie was with us. Hello down here. This is... Choo-choo, what in the world are you doing here? You don't need any maintenance work. You're in the way. Go eat some food and take a nap or something. That's creepy. That's really creepy. I'm exhausted, Choo-choo. Since you're here, I'd like a massage. Just kidding. Go die in a fire. Ellie, she was so kind. I know I'm not the only one to miss her. I know Bart, Margie, Billy, Sighton, Rico, Maria, Emeralda, and Faye all do too. Although they don't say it, I can feel it. Standing here, I remember her kind and gentle smile. Ellie will return, won't she? Thanks, Choo-choo. Thanks for trying to reduce all this tension in the air for me. I'll remember this. Anyway, Ellie's gotta be alive, right? Faye. Let's go back to the room. Margie seems worried. Okay, I'll come too. I guess that's a little moment. It doesn't redeem Choo-choo. That was nightmare fuel, yeah. Yeah. If you remember, when we first met Choo-choo, she wanted to marry Faye. So you would think that she would be, like, jealous of Ellie. But I guess that's good to hear. Couldn't get as many gear parts as we would like, but by all means use them. Yeah, nothing useful at that gear shop for us anymore. I may have been getting in everyone's way up to now. You think? I mean, excuse me. But I can't stand to think Faye and all his friends may perish away like this. I'm going to fight so that this kind of thing never happens to anyone again. Okay. I don't care. Choo-choo got over that real fast, yeah. Real quick turn of emotions. Oh yeah, we're gonna give it all we've got for the young master. Whoa! Hit the light. If only I wasn't wounded, I'd also be able to. Oh, okay, didn't hit the light. I was just representative. Fight to your heart's content and go get injured to your heart's content. Still weigh people. Didn't end up actually having any sort of mechanic. But, there are animations in the game's code for each of the characters swimming. So it's possible that the weight mechanic had something to do with that, perhaps swim speed, or something to do with some sort of swimming mechanic that they never really incorporated. Sighton. I'm sure Ellie is alive and well. We just go on believing it. Let's hope so. Where does Emeralda go? Forgot. Maybe down here? Yeah. Emeralda, go too. Good to hear. Thanks for trying to reduce the tension, Choo-choo. Yeah, trying is the key word there. When I mean reduce the tension, I mean ruin the whole scene. Yep, she's done that more than once. I still think that the scene with Ellie at Golgotha was dramatically effective. It's just Choo-choo brought it down a little. But the fact that the mere existence of a character brings a scene down is says a lot about the character. Is that everyone? Have we talked to everyone? We've talked to Sighton. We talked to both the people in our party: Emeralda, Maria, Rico, Bart, Choo-choo, Billy. I think we talked to everyone. Hey, Sigurd. Deus integrated with Zohar and awoke. We found out Deus is in the center of the giant structure created out of the fallen Merkava. The only way we can think of to destroy Deus is to... What?
For some reason, that activated my Siri. Okay. Late at night, man. The only way we can think of to destroy Deus is to penetrate into there and make our way to the center. The structure used to be Merkava itself, but we must assume the inside has changed significantly. We don't know what dangers await inside of there. Please be careful. Yeah, thanks, Sigurd. Let me take care of it. I will destroy Deus, even if it costs me everything I have. Hey, are you sure about this? Bart? I know what you must be thinking now. If you destroy Deus, the proliferation of the nanomachines that are out to turn this planet itself into a weapon will stop. But if you end up losing Ellie, who was united with Deus for that very purpose, then what good will it be? But that's right, Faye. She's our friend who's been through a lot with us too. I think that saving a dear friend is just as important as protecting our planet or saving the world. What better reason is there to fight? If you can't even save your friends, then how could you save the world? Don't you agree? Yeah, Sig's right. Don't you ever give up, Faye, no matter what. You're the only one who can release Ellie from Deus' spell. But we'll give you as much backup as we can. So, thanks a lot. Bart, Sigurd, I won't give up. You volunteered to fight for the young master and the rest of us. So it's our turn to fight for you and Ellie. Let's go, Faye, to gain true freedom. Shall we launch the Yggdrasil? There we go. What do you mean, I'm sorry, what? What's your question, Raheen? I wanted to buy something. Okay, I wanted to buy a Frame HP 50 for Meraldo. And probably tune up other gears as well. Okay, we need more for the X70. What was the question you had, Raheen? Anything else I can sell? I just have to grind for those other engines. I want to use each one of my party members at least once in the last dungeon. That's why I'm trying to get all of them optimized here. Alright, I guess I'll start grinding for gold next time. Or off camera, I should say. Speaking of next time on Xenogears, we restore freedom to the world. We free the humans from the artificial intelligence, Deus, that had been basically manipulating all of the events of Xenogears, all the events of this world for the past 10,000 years, and simultaneously has caused the humans to come into existence to begin with. You're ending that. Not us, of course, but that figure that has manipulated so much of the lives of the humans on this planet, caused them so much suffering. We're facing it next time. To gain true freedom, to save Ellie. Yeah, my Siri responded to something. It just came up on my phone. It's not the room. No, it is the room. Never mind. This is where the Siri is. To the final battle, indeed. I'll see you all then. You have a good rest of your night.